Hey guys, it's Mary and welcome back to Study Journey. Welcome back to the Python series. This is episode 6, and if you haven't watched the previous episodes, they're all in this playlist. And this is a continuation of the last video, and in this video we're going to be defining is word in hand. So without further ado, let's get into the video. In the previous episode, we have written the outline for is valid word, and as we can see, we have used the function is word in hand and we have not yet defined it. So is valid word, remember, is going to be a Boolean value and it's going to return either true or false. And a valid word is going to be in the word list and entirely composed of letters in the current hand. So only if this passes will is valid word be true. Now, is word in hand is determining the second part of this, if the word is entirely composed of letters from the current hand. So for is word in hand to be true, then all the letters in our word have to be in our current hand. So in this function, we must first determine whether or not every letter is in the hand. If the letter is not in the hand, then we simply return false. If the letter is in the hand, then we have to update the value of the letter, how many times it appears in the letter, by subtracting it by 1. This is similar to what we did in update hand. We have to do this because if one letter appears more than once in our word, but it only appears once in our hand, it is also going to be invalid because we have used it more than it gives us. So the first loop we have to write is a for loop, because for every letter in the word, we're going to compare what is going to be next. And then the next loop is going to be if-else loop. So if the letter is not in the hand, then we return false. So basically, for every letter in the word, so for letter in word, if the letter isn't in a hand, if letter is not in new hand, remember we called it new hand right here because we made a copy of our original hand, so now the hand that we are using is new hand. And since we are calling the is word in hand function from the is valid word, we can use what we have defined above. So if the letter is not in the new hand, then we simply return false. And then otherwise, or else, if the letter is in the word, then we update the value of the letter. So this is done by subtracting 1 to the value if the value is greater than or equal to 1 and returning false if the count is less than 1. So basically else, if the new hand dot get, remember this is getting the value of the hand, and then the value is going to be the and then the key is going to be the letter, and then the default value is 0. If this is greater than or equal to 1, which means if it appears more than once, then we're going to update the value of this letter. So new hand letter is going to be equal to the value. So new hand dot get letter with a default of 0, and then you subtract 1. If it is not greater than or equal to 1, or if it is less than 1, then we're going to return false. And otherwise, if it goes through all of the letters and none of it returns false, then we're going to return true. So now that we have this, we can actually implement it by testing the code. So I'm going to open the ps3.py, and then I'm going to copy what we have over so we can run the test code. So I'm going to go to 3 test word validity is valid word. And I'm going to copy this to the bottom right here, and then this above it. So now that we have it, I'm going to Command S, and if we look in our folder and open our terminal, we can see that to get to PS3, we went through the CS practice and then PS3.2, and then we're going to run this test file right here. So cd CS practice, change directory into CS practice, and then change directory to PS3.2 or whatever folder yours is in, and then we're going to open the Python 3 file, and it's called test_ps3.py. And as we can see, testing is valid word is a success. So we have finished this part of is valid word, and in the next episode, we're going to add a wildcard.